Good day to all of you. Thanks for your interest and attention to NPTEL's new online course initiative. My name is Andrew Thangaraj. I am a faculty in the Electrical Engineering Department of IIT Madras, and in this short video I want to talk about one of the new initiatives at NPTEL. It is an initiative to start online courses along the lines of MOOCs. So MOOCs or massive open online courses is a big rage right now among many learners and teachers, and NPTEL would like to develop a portal or provide the opportunity for many of the SMEs, subject matter experts in NPTEL, to convert their course content from the current version that is there on the portal to a MOOC version, where they can offer the course over a semester or a 6-week period or a 8-week period or 4-week period to a lot of students who might want to take it week after week like they do in MOOCs. So this is one of those new opportunities that NPTEL would like to open up for all the subject matter experts, and we invite your participation in doing this conversion. So what I am going to do in this short video is to show you this new portal, what is known as a sandbox version of this new portal, where you can play around with your course. So we will give you a login and password for this portal and make you a subject matter expert or course admin, as we call it in this portal, and you can try to migrate your course from NPTEL or from any other source. If you are new to NPTEL, you would like to create a MOOC from scratch, you can also do that. So you can create course content on this portal, and once it's available, it will be open to everybody. So let me just walk you through the portal, how to create content, what you should pay attention to, etc. And once again, thanks for your interest, and we hope really that you will contribute content to this portal and make it interesting for you and for so many learners out there. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you a version of the portal which has a current live MOOCs. So this is not the portal that we will be using for creating content, but I want to show you one live MOOC that we are running right now through NPTEL. And this portal is onlinecourses.nptel.ac.in, and you will see here there is some description of an online certification course along the lines of MOOCs that we are running right now. So if you read it, it says NPTEL is a joint initiative. I don't know, I think the font is a little bit small, maybe you can't read it, but I will urge you to go to this web page, onlinecourses.nptel.ac.in, and you can see a MOOC that we are running currently. The first MOOC that we are running is on programming data structures and algorithms. So if I click on this, you will see some more information on programming data structures and algorithms. You will see what the course is about, and you will see the certificate that we will give students who pass this course through MOOCs, and you will see the names of the 3 instructors out there, some nice pictures of 3 of our colleagues whom you might know, and then the list of topics that are there in this course. So this is a portal that we have currently running, and right now lots of students, thousands of students are registered in this portal. They are answering questions, they are learning programming data structures and algorithms. So this is one pilot program that we have started already. So what we want to do is make this available for all the NPTEL SMEs and new people who are interested in contributing to NPTEL, make this portal available for everybody to play around with, to create new content, etc. So for that purpose, we have created a parallel portal which is exactly like this, but it's not available openly to anybody yet. So nobody knows about this new portal. It's a sandbox, as we call it. So you play around with this new portal, try to create content in that, and when it's ready, we will migrate it into a live portal. So what is this sandbox portal? So I want to show you what the URL is, and the URL might be, you can obtain it through some other means, but in case you can read it very closely, or you can zoom into this part of the video, you will see the URL that I am typing here. It's nptel mooc beats.appspot.com. Like I said, it's an obscure URL. It's designed so that nobody will know it. So that's the URL. So this is a new URL. The face of it is exactly the same. So you see it's similar to what was there before, but of course this is just a mirror image of the other portal. This is for people to create content in. So you'll see it lists a few courses. So you'll see a few things here. It says NPTEL on top here, and then there is a login. Okay, so these two are the most important things. Okay, so and then there is some text describing what the portal is about, and then you have a list of courses that are available currently. So, it says programming data structures and algorithms. So, this is a mirror or copy of the course that is running currently, okay. And you have these two buttons which say sign up. Definitely don't sign up for the error control coding course, it's not live yet, it's just for playing around. But look at the other course, programming data structures and algorithms. I will definitely urge you to sign up for that course. So, you go into this new portal and sign up for the programming data structures and algorithms course. The reason is, this is a almost complete MOOC that is out there, okay. I am not saying that this is the ideal or the best MOOC out there, but nevertheless it is a complete MOOC, and you can go in there and see the contents and get an idea of how to create a MOOC, okay. So, let me show you how sign up happens. So, you click on sign up, and you see, so you need a Google account for the sign up, okay. So, if you need a Google account, it need not be a Gmail account necessarily, but you need a Google account, okay. So, I have a Google account, it is andrew@ee.iitm.ac.in. So, I click on that, I have to enter my Google password, okay, and after that it will ask me for a few details, okay. So, here are the details. It says, so notice a few things here, it says NPTEL once again and courses, and it lists the name of the course, and then it tells me that I am andrew@ee.iitm.ac.in. It has some options here, and then it says I am not registered, for this course. So, I have to start filling out the details here. So, I have to write down what is my name, to say country of education, state, city, college name, year of graduation, profession, name of employer. So, you see this is a MOOC, so we want to keep it open for as many people as possible. So, we do not want to ask too many questions from the people who register, okay. But anyway, this is, like I said, is a sandbox, it is not available for anybody already, so it does not matter. So, you have to agree to some terms of service and honor code. If you are interested, you can read it, it is not very, it is generic, and you click enroll, okay. So, once you click enroll, you are registered to this programming data structures and algorithms course. So, once again, this is just to give you an opportunity to see what the first course looks like, okay. So, this course page has a lot of content. So, you see, first of all, on the top there is something called announcements, and then there is something called progress, okay. And then there is a video which you can record a short introductory video for the course, and you can put that here. So, I will show you later how to do these things. And then on the left side you have course outline, okay. So, this is most important, okay. So, this is where the content of your course is sitting, okay. So, and you see a big difference between your normal NPTEL course and this course. Immediately you probably notice that there are week wise splits of the course. So, you have week 1, then you have week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. So, it is as if a student who enrolls does this part in the first week, and then he does this part in the second week, etc. Okay, so that's the idea. And let me just walk you through the content of week 1. Okay, so I'm going to click on week 1's lecture. So you see the first lecture is Introduction to Computers and Programming, and this is how a typical lecture will look. Okay, so you can see Shankar Balachandran here of the IIT Madras CS department. He has recorded a video here. So you see a video shows up as part of the lecture, and below the lecture there is some text explaining what the video is about, some additional information on what else you could do, etc., etc. Okay, and then at the end of this page there is a next page which will take you to the next part of the content. You can either click here, lecture writing your first program, or you can click on next page, it will take you to the content of the next page. Okay, so that is writing your first program, etc. So it goes like this. So if you notice, if you zoom in and notice here, each video is very short, it is about 18 minutes, 20 minutes or so, and this is one of the features of MOOCs. Okay, so you do not want long videos, and these are open courses, a lot of people are doing it. So you want short videos in which people can see a short part of your content very quickly. Okay, so this is one of the features of MOOCs. You may or may not like it, but that's an accepted feature, and it's good to have short videos. Okay, and then some text explaining what it is. I was hoping to see some assessments here. So it looks like the assessments part of this has not been copied. So since it's a live course, so we don't have the assessments here, and the other weeks are also not copied. So this is how the content of a MOOC looks. So this is the basic content. You can also add assessments. So you have lecture, you can also add assessments. So maybe I'll show you how to do that later. Okay, so let's go to see the other parts of this MOOC page. You have something called announcements. So you click on announcements. You'll see well, there are no announcements yet, and you can create new announcements if you like. So I'll show you that once again later. And then there's something called progress. Okay, progress also is probably nothing will be there. Okay, so progress basically lists assessments and scores, and it shows how you did in each assessment. Okay, so that's it. So this is the basic content of the MOOC, and like I said, I will encourage you to sign up also once again, and go through this. Okay, so okay, so that's part of this. So let's go back to the courses page. Okay, so once again, this is the first page. There's NPTEL and there's andrew@ee.iitm.ac.in. So I've logged into this portal. If I'm not logged in, you will get the login there. So you log in. Okay, so ignore this text. This text is, like I said, meaningless for this portal. We just put it there, and the video also you can ignore. It's not relevant to us. Okay, so first thing I showed you. So for instance, so I've already signed up for this programming data structures and algorithms course. So I can click go to course to see what that content is. But we just saw it. I don't want to go through it once again. You can also, if you like, sign up for this error control coding course, which is visible. It has nothing. There's no content in that course, so you don't have to do that. Okay, so this is the portal from a user's point of view. So I showed you how a student who comes to the portal will sign up for a course and go to the course and see its content. Now I want to show you how a content creator, a subject matter expert, or a faculty will interact with the portal. Okay, for that the procedure is something slightly different. Okay, so how we are going to do it is, we will first so by now you have hopefully seen an email in which we have explained something about this online courses portal, and we have given you a form in which you can go and fill up information on a course that you might want to offer on this portal. Okay, so on this form that we have sent you on this email, you will have to fill up your name, the name of the course, the full title of the course, and then you also have to give something known as a unique name or a short name for the course. Okay, so I'll tell you what the short name is, and that's important. So for instance, if I click on programming data structures and algorithms here, if you can, okay, so once it loads, you'll see if you can see the URL tab here. So let me highlight the part I want to show you. Okay, so it says nptel mooc beats.appspot.com, and then there's a slash, and then it says programming 101. Okay, now the course title is programming data structures and algorithms. That is the full title, and the unique name or a nickname or a short name for the course is programming 101. Okay, so we will ask you for the title of the course. We'll ask you for your name, and we will ask you for the title of the course, and we'll also ask you for this unique name. And this unique name is important because it will give you the URL. Okay, so now once you give us this information, we will create a course for you on the portal. Okay, and if you log into that, you can manage the course content. So for instance, on the back end of this portal, we have already created a course with me as the course admin. Okay, so that course I have called as Modern Coding Theory, and the unique name or a short name for it is MCT. Okay, so once I do that, once that has been created, notice what happens here if I put MCT here. Okay, all right. So this is a course that shows up here. Okay, so when you do this, when you put nptel mooc.beats.appspot.com/mct, okay, you will get this page. You have to get this page. It will say Modern Coding Theory, which is the title of your course, and it will say sign up. Okay, so you might say, I created the course as I am the course admin. Why am I not signed up already? It turns out for signing up, we need the Gmail password of the person who signed up for the course, and we don't want to manage passwords. So we don't have passwords. So you have to put in your password and manually sign up with the portal to say that you want to create content also. Okay, so I have to sign up. So I'll click sign up. So notice I'm already logged into the portal. There are a couple of procedures. Please try to understand the difference between these two things. I'm logged into the portal, but I'm not registered for my course. So when you sign up, you're signing up for the course. Okay, so thankfully modern browsers remember all the information you put in for the previous sign up. So you already have it. You just have to say I agree to these terms and conditions, and you have to enroll. Okay. Once you enroll, okay, it will say thanks for registering, you can close this information. You will have the rudimentary page of your course. So, this is the page of the course that you are trying to create. Okay. It has modern coding theory, it has announcements, progress, it has nothing else. Okay. Nothing has been created, so it is not there. So, to create content, if you go here, okay, to your profile once again, you notice there is something called My Courses, and then something called Profile, and there is something called Course Dashboard. Okay. So, this Course Dashboard is very important. Okay. So, this is the place where you create content for your course. Okay. So, if you are not the course admin, you will not see the course dashboard when you go here. Okay. Only the course admins will be able to see the course dashboard, and they will be able to create content. Okay. So, you can click on course dashboard. Okay. So, when you click on that, you will see this page. Okay. So, this is the page you will see. So, this is the back end of the content creation process. Okay. So, first couple of things I have to tell you is, the back end is not very evolved. It is not a very modern, very usable design. It is a very rudimentary, simple design, and it has its own quirks. Okay. So, of course, I mean, we are constantly working to improve the back end. It will eventually improve to a place where it is a breeze to use. So, we will do that, but for now that is a long process, but for now we want to introduce this portal to a lot of people and make it open. While I said it is not perfect, it is not that bad. You can use it, you can get the content created and you can put it up on the portal, but it is not the perfect thing to use. So, do not expect a very usable kind of back end, but like I said, this is only the back end, nobody sees it, only the content creator sees it. The students will see the front end, which is quite usable. Okay. So, this is not a, don't expect too many usable things, but anyway, so you can see, for instance, immediately you can see there are too many things all over the place. It's not very usable from a content creator point of view. Okay. So, it first has the outline. So, the outline right now has just announcements and course, it has nothing more. Okay. So, the course outline is just empty, and then it has a few other tabs, something called assets, settings, analytics, search, peer review, help. Okay. So, let us look at settings. Okay. So, I want to walk you through settings. I think settings has a couple of important things which I want to point out. Okay. So, let us click on settings. Okay. So, when you click on settings, there is a bunch of things. It has something called about the course, and then contents of course.yaml file. I mean, it is not so important to know what the details of all these things. Let us just click on edit. Okay. So, this is the detail. Click on edit. Do not click on advanced edit, that has got more advanced features. Click on edit. Okay. So, this has got, now you will go to a page which has most of the useful information. Okay. So, another thing I have to point out is it will take a lot of time to load, a lot of pages will take a lot of time to load because caching has been completely turned off in this portal. So, it will not be very fast, but it is okay, I think you can use it. Okay. So, let us see what information it has. First thing it has is course name, and then it has course admin emails. There is, and it says what it is. It says andrew@ee.iitm.ac.in. I am the course admin here. And you can see how to edit it. It is a space separated list of email addresses of course administrators. Each email address must be placed between open square bracket and close square bracket. Okay. So, this is the course admin emails. So, now you can add multiple course admins for the same course. Okay. This might be because there are multiple subject matter experts, or you might want to have teaching assistants contributing content. So, you can add teaching assistants also as course administrators. So, then they will be able to use the portal. Okay. So, that is a nice thing. The next thing is email for the forum. Okay. So, for now I would suggest that we do not worry about email for the forum and announcement list email. Okay. So, these two you can leave blank. This is for when we roll out in the future. Okay. It can be done later on, it will create a forum for you and all that will happen, but for now let us just leave it blank. I will come back to it later on. I am going to focus more on creating content. We will add this. This is not very hard to add later. Okay. There is a course start date. Once again, you do not have to worry about it right now. You can think about it later. Okay. There are a couple of options here. I want to point out what what is important. First thing is make course available. Okay. So, that is the option. So, if you click this option, what will happen is your course will show up on the main portal. Okay. It will be listed on the main portal and people will be able to sign up for the course. You probably do not want to do that when you are creating content. So, I would say you do not make course available. If you do not make course available, but still you want to go to the web page of the course, you should know the unique name, this MCT or the programming 101, you should know the unique name and you should put that unique name. Only then you can access the contents of the course. It says list the course in Explorer, it is okay. I mean, if you have not made the course available, it will not list in Explorer. okay. And then there is make course browsable. So, I would suggest you leave both these things on, off and keep it like this, just list the course in Explorer should be on. And then there is an enable registration, so all that is fine. But so all these can be on, but if you do not say make course available, it will not come in the main portal and people will not know of its existence. Only if they know the short name MCT or Programming 101 will they know. So, it is not a big deal. So, you can make it not make it available and even enable registration, that is okay. And then there are a few things. First thing is welcome email. Okay. So, welcome email, it's kind of, so how do you edit these things? That is the other thing I should tell you. Each of these are text boxes, these are boxes, they actually normally expect HTML input. So, if you do not like HTML input, you can also enter it in rich text. Okay. So, now, so notice it says HTML here, if you click on this, it will go back to HTML. So, if you want something, you should say rich text. Okay. So, now this is rich text and you can edit it as rich text. So, for instance, in the welcome email, I can say welcome to the course and I might want to put Andrew here. And if you want, you can add, I hope you have a great time. Oh, should be careful here. Have a great time. That's it. So, you can just enter that. That's the welcome email. Okay. The next thing is additional fields. I think, we can leave that alone. And then there is course abstract. Okay. So, let me put something in course abstract. Once again, I will edit it in rich text. Always edit in rich text. I would suggest that very strongly because HTML, unless you are very comfortable with HTML, I would suggest you edit it in rich text. Okay. The course abstract, like the name suggests, is a short description of the course. So, just to keep this video brief, I am going to say this is a course in modern coding theory. Be brave and enroll. Okay. So, that is fine. That is something that you can say. And then there is instructor details. Once again, like I said, edit it in rich text. You can also add images here. I will tell you that later. But for now, let me just put my name here. This is the brave instructor for this course. Okay. And then there is some extra course info. If you want, you can add it or else you can skip it. And there are a few other things here. Okay. So, first thing you notice here is a course video. What is the course video? If you want to shoot a short video on promoting your course or discussing your course, why should people enroll in the course? What is so cool about this course? What is so cool about you? If you want to do that, you record a short video. And if you notice here, all videos have to be YouTube videos. Okay. So, it says here provide a YouTube video ID to embed a video. Okay. So, what you have to do is to create a short video and then upload it on YouTube. Okay. You can either do it yourself if you are very comfortable, or you can take the help of your friendly neighborhood NPTEL studios, go there, record the short video and they will do the conversion, they will put it up on YouTube and then they will give you a YouTube video ID. Okay. So, what is the YouTube video ID? I think if you are not familiar with that, let me show you how to find the YouTube video ID of anything. So, let me go to the NPTEL web page. I am going to the NPTEL web page and then I am going to try and find my course. So, this is one of my courses which is available in NPTEL. So, if you notice, every NPTEL video is also available on YouTube. And then if you want to find the ID of your YouTube, there are several ways of finding the IDs of the YouTube video. Let me show you one way. You can right click on this video and then it says here copy video URL. Okay. The first option there is copy video URL. You click on that. So, you copy it, you find the video URL and then you go to a new tab here and then if you do a Control V, what you get here is the URL of the video. So, if you notice, the URL of the video has www.youtube.com and /watch:feature equals player embedded, that is irrelevant to us. And then the next thing, and V equals some alphanumeric text. Okay. There will also be an underscore, that is also important. Okay. This guy is the YouTube video. Okay. So, let us say I copy that YouTube video. Okay. I did a Control C to copy that YouTube video and then I can come back here and I can put that here. So, if you notice here, I got a series of underscore OXN capital Y capital V 6 Y 51 W. Okay. So, the advantage of this is, this is a complicated thing to guess and nobody is going to be able to guess. So, unless you make this video public, nobody will see it. So, you keep a private video on YouTube, get the YouTube video ID and then put it on here. So, this is a course video. Okay. And if you have an image for the course, a nice designed image, once again your NPTEL studio can help you create this image, you can do that. Okay. And that is it. That is all the information I want to put here. These are the basic settings. So, let us save this. I have saved it and then let me close it. Okay. So, I have done that, and now I have made some basic changes to the settings. So, let us see how all this looks. So, let us go back to outline. Okay. So, notice here there are lots of tabs here. I am going to pick outline. Okay. So, I pick outline. Okay. And then let us go to course. Okay. So, it says pages, announcements, course. Okay. So, I am going to go to course. I am going to click on course. Okay. So, that is what you see. All right. So, previously we just had modern coding theory, nothing more, and now you can see how it is beginning to look. So, first of all, my introductory video showed up here, the video that I added. This is the same video from the NPTEL page that I just added for fun. And then you have, this is a course in modern coding theory, be brave and enroll. This is the abstract that I put out, and then Andrew T is the brave instructor for the course, which is the bio for the in typical MOOCs, these videos are short, about 20 minutes or so. So, you record it, you put it there. All right. So, and then there are some questions. So, whether questions in this lessons will be scored, etc. So, you can say whether you want to, this is a important lesson that everybody has to learn and score it. And then there is a lesson body. Okay. So, here I will say once again rich text. Remember, always click on rich text before you edit, otherwise it expects HTML. Okay. So, in lesson body, so let me add something. This is the low density parity check codes or LDPC codes are the best. Okay. So, you might want to add the above video discusses the following topics. Okay. And you can put a enumerated kind of itemized list here. You can say why other codes are bad, why LDPC codes are great. Okay. So, you can do anything else you want. I am just typing something here, and then there is some activity here. I mean, if you want, you can add an activity. So, we will just skip this activity part for now. Let us just save this. Okay. So, activity is part of the content, and you can play around with this later if you like. For now, let us just skip this. We will keep the status as private once again. Save and close. Okay. So, there we go. So, we have created a unit and we have an introduction, which is one lesson. So, in case you do not like this name, you want to change the name of the unit, you can always click on edit. Okay. So, it will again take you back to the unit page, you can edit it, or you can click on edit here, it will change your lesson type. Okay. So, let us see how all this looks. So, if you want to see how all this looks to a student, okay, to someone who wants to use the portal, you have to go up here and click on course. Okay. Number 2 here, course, you click on that. There you go, that is how it looks. Okay. So, previously we did not have this part, we only had this part, now this part has been added. Okay. So, remember once again, you have the title of the course, the abstract of the course, and this introductory video to this course, and then there is the bio of the instructor. This is what the first page had. Now, I have added more content. Okay. So, you have course outline, it says low density parity check codes, and then there is a lecture, which is introduction. So, let me click on this guy. Okay, nothing comes. So, you have to click on the lecture. So, let us click on the lecture. So, there you go. You get this video, below this there is a description, and then there is the end, because I just created one that. Okay. So, you can also edit the lesson from here, or you can edit the unit from here. If you want to add something here, there is a quick pointer, you can quickly edit. Okay. This is how you start creating content. So, let me just show you one more example of quickly creating one more type of content, and then we will go back. So, once again, how do we create content? You go to your login part, just hang your mouse, show your mouse somewhere there, this menu will pop down and click on course dashboard. Okay. So, if you want to add more units, so you want to add one more unit, okay, let me just quickly do that. Let me just add another unit, I will call it turbo codes. Okay, once again private. Saved, close. Okay, there you go, one more unit got added. Let us add a lesson. Okay. So, now the new lesson, let us say encoder, turbo encoder. Okay. So, now below the title there is a question here, parent unit. Okay, it says unit 1. You have to decide under which unit does this lesson come. So clearly it's going to come under unit 2. So I put there. I need a video once again. So let's go back here and look at something here. Do I have a turbo code? Yeah, there it is with this turbo codes. Okay, so let me just pick this guy. Go to YouTube, right click, copy video URL, go to a new tab, paste that URL, the last alphanumeric part p equals that video, that is your ID. Okay. So you come back here, you put that in the video ID, okay, and then you need lesson body, say this is a video on the turbo encoder. Okay, so that is it. Then if you want, you can create list, and once again if you want to create the new video, yeah, go ahead, use your NPTEL Studios, create the new video, they will put it up on YouTube as a private video and then give you the video ID. Okay, so that is it. So I save this, I close. So both my units got created. If I want to go back and see the course just for fun, there it is, second unit also got created. Okay, and then there is a lecture here. You can add more lessons to each unit. I mean, you can just keep playing with it. So it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, so that's the just creating content. Okay, so next thing I want to show you is how to create an assignment or assessment. Okay, so let's go back to the course dashboard, which has everything. And a couple of things I want to point out about the course dashboard. One of the things you can do is this Hangout. Okay, Hangout is once again, this portal is powered by Google, and Google has this wonderful thing called Hangout, where you can just create, you can hang out literally online with a bunch of friends of yours. Okay, so it's limited about 8 people, but there's something called Hangout on Air. Okay, so in case you start a course and it's very popular and a lot of people want to interact with you, you can start a Hangout on Air as part of the course. You can schedule it and do that. So that's possible. And then there's something called data files, which is for more advanced users. You don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, so that's it. So now let's see how to add an assignment. Okay, assignment is a place where you add questions for students to answer. Okay, so here again there is a big difference between NPTEL, standard NPTEL course and the course on this portal. Okay, so this again assignments will be similar to MOOCs, and these will be multiple choice or numeric and answer. Okay, and students who watch the lectures, after they have finished watching the lectures, can attempt the assignments. Okay, each assignment question is scored. You can either get 1 point, 2 points, so you can set it up like that, and at the end of the assignment the student gets to know how well they are learning. Okay, so it's like immediate feedback. They can actually go to the portal, enter the answers, see whether they got it right or wrong. So it gives you added value to the course material that you've already created. So let me see how to create an assignment here. You click on add assignment. Okay, so you see here there's lots of things here. It says new assessment, and then something called revert to JavaScript. This is, I think, again, once again, it's for advanced users. So let's see what else is there. Okay. 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 So let me just show you how to do this. So the title of this assessment, which is going to come under unit 1, is what, LDPC problem set. Okay, so let's just call it that, and the weight is 1, because the weight is basically how much weightage this thing has overall in your grading, and let's say this is unit 1, and you have to actually create the content here. I'll come back to how to create the content soon enough, but let's for now just leave it like this. And it asks you for a few questions. Check answers button, and there's a submission new date. I think check answers is basically to check answers. Let's just click that. So basically, if you say check answers, I think it will look at the exact answers, correct answers you have put there, and then give feedback to the student as to how many they got right, which I think is good. So you should put check answers here. And then there's a submission due date. Okay, you have to enter it in year, month, and date format. So let's just put some date here, 2014. Month is going to be, this is the month, let's say month of May, and then May 10th. Okay, some date, we have to put that. And then there are questions on allowing multiple submissions. Do you allow them to submit only once or allow multiple submissions? I think if you're more student friendly, I think you should allow multiple submissions. And then grading method is either automatic grading or peer review. You can also have other students look at it, but let's go with automatic grading. Okay, and then there's some review config. That's it. So let's save this. Error validating. Oh, okay. So I forgot the time, right? Okay. So for instance, I put just the date, I didn't put the time here. So they need hours and thing also. So let's just put 11:000. Okay, so remember once again, this is UTC, which is like universal time. So you have to, this is about 5.5 hours behind Indian Standard Time if you want to convert. Okay, save. That's it, it's saved correctly, and then I close. Now, an assignment has been created, LDPC problem set in this. Okay, so there's nothing in the assignment, but I've just created the info name. So let's see how it looks immediately. You'll see there'll be nothing in it, but at least it's been created. So if you click on this, okay, so there you go. So under low density parity check codes, there is a lecture and then there is an assessment. So if we click on the assessment, okay. So it says you may submit any number of times before the due date. The final submission will be considered for grading, and it says it's due on this date and time. Okay, so it says 16:30 IST because remember I put 11:00. That was 5.5 hours behind IST. So it shows converts to IST and shows 16:30 IST. Okay, so that's the low density. But now we have to add some questions to this assessment. So let me show you how to add questions to this assessment. It says edit assessment, but don't go there. Okay, edit assessment will not help you. So I'll tell you what to do. So you have to go here andrew@ee.iitm.ac.in and go to course dashboard. Okay, so let's go to course dashboard, and then before you start editing your assessment directly, you have to create assets. Okay, what are assets? Assets are in assets you can create a question bank. Okay, you can create a big set of questions, and you can have others create these questions. You can create it yourself, and you can create a big question bank in the portal. And then from the question bank, you can pull groups of questions into the assessment. Okay, so this is the best way of creating assessments, and this is the only way. Okay, more or less. Okay, nothing else you can do unless you do some. I think let's just go with this way of creating assessments. So how do you create assessments again? You first create the name for the assignment, and then you go into assets and create the actual question. Okay, so how do you do this? Let's click on assets. Okay, so assets immediately. There are so many of them. Okay, so lots of assets possible. You can have, if you are really advanced, you can add JavaScript libraries. You can have view templates. I would suggest not to play around with these things. And you have cascading style sheets if you don't like the way the style sheets are. These are really for advanced users. I think for most people, what will be most important is images and documents. In case you want to add some assets in the images and documents, you can upload them if you like. We are not going to do that now. And then there are activities, assessments, question groups, question bank. So we need to really focus on question bank. Okay, so we want to create a question bank. Okay, so how do we create a question bank? You can either have short answer questions or multiple choice questions. These are the two possibilities for now. You can't have anything more. You can either have multiple choice or short answer. So let me show you what multiple choice is first. Okay, you click on multiple choice. I created an add multiple choice question. So here's a multiple choice question. Okay, so you need a question here. So let's say the question is which is the best code out there? Okay, that's the question you might want to do. Once again, do it in rich text. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Do it in rich text always. Don't do it in HTML. It says which is the best code out there. There is a description here. This is very important. Okay, so you have to put which is the best code out there, and then you have to describe. Okay, so what is this description? At this point, it may not be clear to you. What I'll suggest is you simply cut your question and paste it here. Okay, and then if you want, you number the question. Okay, so you put 1 Q1 or something. Okay, Q1 colon. Okay, so right now it may not be clear to you why I am doing it. You'll see it's very important later on. Okay, so you put Q1 and then repeat the question, or repeat a significant part of the question so that you can identify what the question is. Okay, so which is the best code out there is my question, and then which is the best code out there. Once again, I put it in the description. Okay, now in selection, you can either allow one selection or allow multiple selections. Okay, and you can assign scores to choices. So I've just said allow one selection. My first choice is LDPC code. Okay, once again, do it in rich text. I think most of the times this is not very critical. And then the other choice is turbo code. Okay, and then let's say the third choice is RS code, and the last choice is BCH code. If you want, you can add choices. Okay, and you can also assign scores to individual choices. Okay, so hopefully you saw that. Okay, so this is the choice. allow only one selection, and then I clicked on assign scores to individual choices. When you do that, it will tell you which is the correct one, which is the wrong one. Okay, so I put here 1 0 0 0, which means I am going to give 1 mark for this guy and then 0 for everything else. Okay, so in case I want to say allow multiple selection here, okay, and let's say both these are correct. I mean, I want them to pick both of them, so I might do half here. If I might do 1 here, and I also do 1 here. Okay, so then both of these are correct. Okay, so you can go this way. Okay, so you see what it has done here. Okay, so it has put 0.5, 0.5, minus 1, minus 1. Okay, so these two are wrong, and these two are 0.5. Together you will get 1. Okay, so you can do anything you like. So if you want, you can put this also. You can do this guy. So it just puts 1 1 1 0 0 0. So you can see what it does. So if, for instance, instead of LDPC, if you want to make turbo as the correct one, so it puts 0 1 0 0. Okay, so it just lets you pick the correct answer. Okay, so this tells you how to score the correct answer, and then if you want, you can add a choice, and then you can save this. So, okay, so I have saved a question. So I have created one multiple choice question in the question bank. Okay, so you note here what has happened. It says 1, and then it says Q1, which is the best code out there. Okay, so this came from the description. Okay, so if you go back to the editing of the multiple choice question, so there is the question itself, and then there is the description of the question. The description is what will show up when you go back to this page. So if you close here, it says abandon all changes, it says abandon it. You go here, this is what came in the description place. Okay, whatever you put in description comes here. So that this is what will help you identify the question later. So you should put a very detailed description. Like I said, I would suggest just cutting and pasting the entire question with some number here to help you. Okay, so this is these are some quirks in the back end, which is not very ideal. Like I said, people are working to improve this. So, but for now, this is what we have, and let's try to use it. Okay, so that's one multiple choice question. You can generate any number of multiple choice questions. You can also generate short answer questions. So I clicked on add short answer question, and this is a short answer question. Okay, so let me add a short answer question here. What is the rate of a 3,6 regular LDPC code? Okay, so this is the question. So once again, do it in rich text. Don't do it in HTML. Do it in rich text. It's very important. And what do you do for the description? Like I said, just cut and paste. You put some number, and then cut and paste the entire question. Okay, so that's what's recommended. If you want, you can put a hint. I'm going to skip a hint, and okay, so feedback, you can see it's a show when the student response does not match any of the possible answers. So if the student got it wrong, you might want to give some feedback. Okay, and the grading, okay, can be based on, you can give multiple answers, and the kind of answers can be, okay, so look at this grading. It says case insensitive string match. Exactly, it has to match something. It can also be a regular expression. In most cases, you may not want it. The answer can be numeric. The answer can be range. Okay, so there are different choices here. So let's say we pick range. I don't know. I mean, what happens if you pick range? I'm not sure. So let's say we pick numeric. Okay, and okay, so I'm not very clear on how this works. So let's say we'll just play around with it and see what happens. So let's say I pick maybe range. Okay, so let's say I pick range, and then I say so how do I do range? I don't know. So let's say 2. No. Okay, so maybe I should do numeric here. I'm not sure. Let me try a couple of things. I'll do numeric, and let's say I put 0.5. Okay, so it just keeps coming over and over again. So I don't know what to do. So let's say we pick range here. Okay, so delete this answer. Range. So I want to put 0.4. Okay. All right. So we've created this question. What is the rate of a 3,6 regular LDPC code? Okay. The correct answer to this question, let's say, is 0.5. Okay. So it's not exactly the correct answer, but let's say the correct answer is 0.5 for question's sake. Okay. But I want to give different grading choices here. So I could, for instance, say the correct choice is case insensitive string match, I might say 0.5. Okay. In which case what will happen is, if the student enters 0.5, the answer is going to be marked as correct. Okay. But if the student enters 0.50, what will happen? Instead of 0.5, if he enters 0.50, it will be marked as wrong, okay, because it is a case insensitive exact string match. Okay. So, that is not very nice. So, maybe I want to put something else here. Okay. So, maybe I want to put range. Okay. In range, I can say 0.4 to 0.6. Okay. So, notice what I did here, I did 0.4 dash 0.6. Okay. So, what this means is any answer in the range 0.4 to 0.6 is going to be deemed as correct. Okay. So let us save this and see what happens. Okay. So, I am curious about what is going to happen here. So, let us close this. So, I have created a short answer question with a range as the answer. Okay. So, there are two questions I have created in my question bank. Is this it? Is this enough? No, not really. It is not enough to create an assessment. You need one more step. What is the next step? You have to add a question group. Okay. So, let us imagine that somehow you have created thousands of questions in the question bank. They are listed like this, one after the other, thousands of questions, and you want to take some of them into your actual assessment. So, for that what I would suggest is you create a question group. Okay. So, you click on add question group, which is here, add question group, and then it tells you what the question group is. So, first of all, once again, there is a description here which you should use very carefully. So, you say once again here LDPC question, LDPC code questions. Okay. So, you should put enough description to know what this is. Okay. There is an introduction. If you want, you can write some text here. So, let us put that here. This is a problem set on LDPC codes. All the best. Okay. You can put anything else you like. Once again, rich text is important. Okay. So, it says here it puts put 3 choices. Okay. So, all of them, it just puts down a, so it says weight, and then it says what question you can have. So, let us say weight 1, I have the first question, what is the best code out there, and then put weight 1 again, and then I put the second question, what is the best, what is the rate of a 3,6 regular LDPC code. I do not have anything else, so I can actually delete this guy. Okay. If you want, you can add an item, and when you pull in the down thing, it will come. Okay. So, if I add an item, once again the same thing comes, but I have only 2 questions, so it does not make sense. So, I will delete this. Okay. So, that is it. These 2 questions are in my question group, okay, and then I save it. Okay. So, I have saved it. Once I save it, you notice what happens here. In my question bank, I have 2 questions, and I have a question group which has LDPC code questions. Okay. So, you have to do both first before you can create an assessment. Okay. So, now we have created a question bank, and from the question bank we have pulled out a few questions and put into a question group. So, now let me see how to make an assessment. Okay. How do you make an assessment? You go back to outline. Okay. You go back to outline, which has all these things, and then you have this add assignment. Okay. Well, I actually added an assignment already, which says LDPC problem set. I have to go and edit it. Okay. So, let us go and edit this. Okay. If you click on editing here, then there is something called assessment content. Okay. So, I can put this here. So, let us do this rich text. Here I have to click just, okay. So, once you click on rich text, it has a lot of things here, lists, etc., and then look at this insert item. Okay. So, this is what is most important, insert item. Okay. You can see that here. There are 3 possibilities here. First one is a HTML link, the next one is an image, the next one is an insert Google course builder component, which is what we will do now. Okay. So, I am going to click on this link. It throws up a little pop up, it says component type. So, here you pull down, you get a lot of choices. It can be a Google Doc, it can be a Google group, it can be a Google spreadsheet, iframe, question, question group, etc. So, let us pick question group. Okay. Pick question group. Okay. All right. So, once you pick question group, all the question groups out there will show up and you can select one. In fact, we have only one question group, we did not create anything else, it is just LDPC code question. So, you pick that. Okay. If you created multiple groups, all these groups will show up, you can pick any one of those groups. Okay. And then you say save. That is it, your group showed up there, that is all. So, we are done, we have created the assessment and we have said what we wanted to do, we have said check answers. So, everything is set. So, let us submit this, let us save this and then close it. All right, we have created content and we also created an assessment. So, let us see how all this looks. How do we see all this looks? In outline, you will have this something called course. So, you click on course, you are going to see the course once again. This is the course, the video also loads, everything comes up. My first unit is low density parity check codes, lecture, assessment. So, let us click on assessment. Click on assessment, the assessment shows up. Okay. So, hopefully, you can see the assessments. It has 2 buttons. For some reason, they are not overlapping properly. I guess this is a bug which we have to fix. But here it goes. Okay. This is a problem set on LDPC codes, all the best. You see due on this date, which is the best code out there. Okay. There is 1 point, there are 4 choices. What is the rate of a 3,6 regular LDPC code? 1 point. Okay. So, let us say I pick RS code, and then here I put 0.5. Okay. So, there are 2 things here. It says you may submit any number of times. The final submission will be considered for grading. So, you probably do not want to submit, you want to say check answers. What is check answers? You click on that, it says your score is 0 by 0, okay, which is very interesting. I do not know why. So, let's say I pick on LDPC code and then I click on check answers. Okay, something went wrong here. Let us go back to the lecture, come back to the assessment. Okay, so I have clicked on assessment and I want to see what happens. So, let us say I pick LDPC code and here I put 0.5, okay, and then I say check answers, still says 0 on 0. Okay. Anyway, I think there is some bug here which we have to fix later, we will fix that. So, let us say we submit the answers. Okay. So, it says thank you for taking the LDPC problem set, your score for this assessment is 0.0%, okay, which is not very believable. I think there is some bug here which needs to be fixed, but let's go back and see what we had. Okay. So, that was how you create an assessment, that is how the assessment would look, and that is how it gets graded on the back end. Okay. So, let us click on progress. Okay. If I click on progress, well, progress is supposed to show the assessment that come here, it is not coming. Okay. So, that is it. That was a short video on how to create lectures and how to create assessments. The assessment part, look, as you can see, is not fully complete on the grading part, and that is just a software fix which we will do soon enough. So, eventually when you do that, it will fine, but if you click on assessment, you can see the content. The content is there. The grading part needs to be, I think some minor fix has to be done on the portal to make it gradable. You can do submit answers, check answers, and then you get this. Okay. In fact, in check answers you can disable, like I said in the other thing, if you like, but submit answers you can have. Okay. So that is it. That is the short introduction to this portal. Thanks a lot for your attention. It was, I mean, I said short, it is actually not short, it became very long, nearly a 1 hour introduction. Like I said, I mean, I do not think everybody needs to see this video. This is not really needed. I think if you are happy playing around with the portal, see what happens, you will learn quickly enough. There is also going to be a Google Groups in which all the people who volunteer for creating content will be put, and you can ask questions in that group. People who have already created content on this portal will also be on the group. People from Google will be on the group, so they will be able to answer your questions on how to create content, etc. So, all help will be provided. Your local NPTEL studio will be happy to assist you in creating videos. I hope you have a wonderful time in creating content on this new portal and offering more and exciting courses on the MOOC method to a lot of students out there. Thanks a lot for your attention. All the best.